everyone and welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. I'm sorry for not uploading recently. The last few weeks have been pretty hectic. I was moved up in the hiring process for 2 jobs, one of which I really wanted. The hiring process was very thorough and time consuming, but that's all taken care of now. Moving along as promised, I'll be going back to monthly manga hauls starting, well, today. July's haul is a bit small, but I think there are a few gems in here. Without further ado, let's get started. Up first, I have volume 6 and 8 of Omoi Omoware Furi Furare. One of my friends actually got me volume 8 as a gift, which was so sweet. I'm not really used to people buying manga for me as a gift, especially for no reason, so I don't know, it was a really kind gesture. I think I've spoken about this series before, but this manga centers around a group of 4 friends, and they're all drastically different from each other. One of the girls has a very childish view on love, whereas another is pragmatic. One guy is a playboy, but another is a natural airhead, but they're all intertwined with each other as they navigate high school, their feelings, their families, and just their lives. I'm a huge Sakisaka fan, and I think this is probably my favorite work of hers. Yeah, the goal of finding love is cute and all, but what I like about this manga is that even more so than love, the main goal is to follow your dreams and to be the best version of yourself. Each of these characters is trying to better themselves in their own way, and that's pretty cool, and that's why I feel compelled to keep reading. And I hope that since Aoharu Ride is being published in English soon, we'll get a chance to read this series in English in the future as well. Up next, I have volume 4 of Honey Lemon Soda, another shoujo series I've been enjoying a lot. I really enjoy character growth and development, which again I think is important in shoujo. The main character in this series is someone who's easily misunderstood as almost emotionless and meek, like Stone, because that's what her name means, and she gets teased a lot for it. One day she meets someone who basically inspires her to change, and this sets off the series. At first I wasn't too crazy about the idea of a guy coming along and basically being the savior and catalyzing this change in her, but I think the writer handles these interactions really well, and the main character is still very autonomous. She's definitely not meek and as helpless as people think she is, which is really refreshing. I've been enjoying this, and hopefully I'll pick up more soon. Next, I have volume 1 of Barakamon. I really didn't need to buy this, but I wanted this more for myself and for some fun and easy reading practice. This series is easily one of my favorite anime ever. At this point, I think I've lost track of how many times I've seen it. It's a lot. So I just want to read the manga now, too. Barakamon starts off with our main character Honda, who has just recently reluctantly moved to a remote island after publicly embarrassing himself. While on this island, he interacts with the other residents, including an incredibly spunky and adorable child named Naru. The lifestyle and attitude on this island is pretty different from what he's used to, and it's through these interactions with people like Naru and the others that Honda learns more about himself and is able to grow as a person. It's so heartfelt and touching, and I'd recommend the series to anyone, but especially to fans of slice of life and comedy. And for the last of my Japanese manga, I have volume 1 of Otakoi, or Love is Difficult for Otaku. I think this is my first time buying manga in the wide format, and I'm really loving it. I'm a fan of larger formats to begin with, and I really love the slim look of it and the texture of the cover as well. Otakoi is a romantic comedy for us geeky adults. The manga is about the relationships and antics of 2 couples, all 4 of whom are otaku of varying degrees and types. One of them is a gamer, one of them cosplays, one of them likes mainstream things, etc. I think it's super sweet and adorable and pretty slice of life-like. It's a quick read and each chapter has been pretty fun, but as much as I like the characters and the idea of the manga, I almost wish there was some sort of plot, so I'm not sure if I want to keep reading it. I do think depicting adult characters in manga is important, especially adult otaku, so I probably will want to read more, but I think I'd enjoy it more if there's some sort of development going forward. But this is only volume 1. Up next, I have the Revolutionary Girl Utena box set. This is actually my first manga box set, which is so exciting. I got this on eBay for less than $20, which I'd say was a steal. I've wanted to read this manga for a really long time now. I've seen some of the anime before, which I did enjoy. I've been told Utena is one of those must-read or must-watch series for shoujo fans. The premise of the series is that when Utena was a young girl, she was saved by a mysterious princely figure, and she was so enamored by him that as she grew up, she also wanted to become a prince. She received letters from this prince and figures out that he's at a particular school, so she decided to go there, and while at the school, she's caught up in a weird dueling society. You can probably guess by the title, but Utena really is the gem of this series. I fangirled so hard over her. I did enjoy this manga, but it almost felt a little incomplete to me, and it left me wanting more, so I think I'm going to watch the anime next. Next I have volume 1 of a manga I never thought I'd own, 7 Days. A little backstory, 7 Days is a boys' love, and from what I've been told from my boys' love loving friends, when boys' love manga goes out of print it tends to get very expensive, and this series was no exception. There are 2 volumes in 7 Days, and I've seen the second volume alone go for around $200, and even now this first volume can get pretty expensive. But a very sweet and kind and amazing friend of mine found this for me for $10. I know, I almost cried. Again, I can't believe I have this. Anyway, this series itself is pretty sweet. I'm not too familiar with the boys' love genre, but what I've heard is that the perception of it is that it can get pretty fanservice-y and graphic, but I'm not really sure if that's true. What I like about this series, however, and what caught my eye in the first place, is that at its core, it's just a story about 2 people and them trying to get to know each other. It's really calm and relaxing. Both of the main characters have this outer shell and persona that everyone judges them by, but as they get to know each other, they both find out that there's more to them than meets the eye. I think it's a genuinely nice story about getting to know someone and getting close to them. Is it possible to fall in love with someone in a week? Well, who knows? When I read this manga many years ago, it was actually what piqued my interest in the boys' love genre in the first place, and I hope I can find more manga like this one day. I also hope I can find the second volume. Next, I have a 1-volume manga, All My Darling Daughters. I got this because I've sampled some of this creator's other works, such as What Did You Eat Yesterday and Oku, and I really like her storytelling, so I wanted to try something else by her. All My Darling Daughters is a collection of short stories. The first story, and the one that almost sets the tone for the rest, explores the relationship between a mother and daughter after the mother plans to marry someone much younger than her. Each of the following stories has a new main character, but they're all friends of the daughter from the first story. I love short story collections, especially ones that have a common thread like this one. I really enjoyed this manga, but it was also a difficult one to read because I could really relate to some of the characters here. It's interesting seeing how these characters are affected by their family members, and more loosely, the impact your family and personal relationships can have on your self-confidence and development. It's very thoughtfully written and something I'll definitely read again. Last but not least, I have something pretty special, my first English light novel purchase. As you can see, this is the first Durarara novel. Many years ago, I was a huge fan of the anime, and I'd still consider myself a fan of it, but it's definitely been some time since I've seen it. Since I want to start reading light novels regularly, I thought this would be a good one to start with since I'm already familiar with the series. Durarara has a lot going on, so I think it's easier to say what it's about by saying where it all takes place, which is the seemingly normal Ikebukuro in Tokyo. But this district attracts an incredibly diverse array of characters, including high schoolers, gang members, a mysterious motorcyclist, an information broker, an ill-tempered bodyguard dressed like a bartender, an underground doctor, you name it. And each of these characters have their own plot lines and problems. I really enjoyed this first book, and it's hard to say if I liked it more than the anime or not, but I definitely feel like the light novel is worth reading regardless. The anime is one experience, and it's fun with the animation and upbeat soundtrack, but the novel is so well written and the information is so clearly presented that it's also nice engaging with it too. I'll probably be picking up more soon. And that's it for this manga haul. I hope you enjoyed it. I loved everything I got this month, but if you can imagine it, August's haul will be even cooler. I can't wait to share it with you all. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.